But do you need it? Should I get you a ring light?
No, I can go get one.
We are live.
Still, you need a ring light. I need to.
Wait,
are they done?
He does need more light.
Are they done renovating your basement?
Not fully, but
what do they?
I don't think I'm going to be. What do we have left to do?
Yeah, what do you have left to do?
Well, there's some things. Got to put the fireplace in. Got to hook up the TV and put the banister in. There's a bunch of things.
Rob, if I go to Winnipeg to visit you, do I need to like get in a hotel room, or like do you have a place for me to sleep?
Welcome to Starting 11.
By the way, he still hasn't answered the question.
Answer it off the air, Ferris, okay?
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Starting 11 here on the Let's Get Ready Network. I'm Adelia. I'm here with my buddies Ferris and Snark. We're going to talk about the Euros and the Copa America. And can I just say, after watching this game that we just witnessed between Colombia and Uruguay, how happy I am that we're not going to have a battle of shithousery between Luis Suarez and Emi Martinez in the final.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted that, but sure.
The shadow of Luis Suarez, not.
He hasn't played at all this entire.
He had a couple good chances. He had one go out.
He did have a couple of chances.
He did.
30 minutes of work.
Yeah. He can only do.
Didn't bite anyone. Didn't bite a single person.
Exactly. He only can do like 20 minutes a game at most.
Unless he's playing in the MLS, and then he can play more.
Yeah, he can go half speed.
MLS,
he's very good at half speed.
The problem with MLS is they don't have defenders. That's the issue. Like they can score, games are like 5-4 or 5-3 or 5-2, 4-3 or something nonsense, like 6-1 in Cincinnati against Miami last week. But yeah, there's just bad defending. Bad defending.
Before we turn this into a show about MLS, before we turn this into a show about MLS, let's talk about the news on our nations in the Copa America, starting with the U.S., who today fired Greg Berhalter. Thank God. I mean, come on. He could not have kept his job after the failure that this Copa America was. Ferris, you've been very vocal about the U.S. and the Greg Berhalter situation in our Discord, which you can join by going to patreon.com/LGR_network. Ferris, talk to me about the U.S. team.
Good riddance, in a sense that he shouldn't have been rehired in the first place. A lot of people are going to look at this and say it was that they're only. I don't care. Okay, I'm not just using the Copa America being the first host nation in Copa America history to be grouped. And Copa America has been going on since 1913. So you were the first host nation to get grouped. Again,
by group, you mean out in the group stage?
Out in the group stage, yes. That's what being grouped means. We have just watched two teams go down a man in Uruguay against Brazil and in Colombia against Uruguay, down a man, and either tie in Uruguay's case or beat in Colombia's case their opponent. America goes down a man against Panama. They get a goal. So they go up while they're down a man. In Colombia's case, they got their goal while they were even. It was in the 39th minute. They got their red card in the 45th minute. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But you get your goal when you're down a man. And you gave up a goal 3 minutes later because your defensive midfielder was out of position, your center backs are out of position, and your goalie should have still stopped it. I don't care about Matt Turner should have still stopped that goal. It wasn't fast. It was a roller. He didn't react fast enough, and that's not good enough. Greg Berhalter had a horrible game against Jamaica. We don't beat Mexico. We don't face Mexico in the final unless Jamaica gives up an own goal in the 99th minute of that semifinal. And then it's going to be Jamaica, Mexico. And we got lucky. So there's also that game. In the second stint, we're talking about the second stint. we were against Germany when Germany was still figuring out who they were. It was Julian Nagelsmann's second game, I think, or first game. And we looked good in the first half against them. We actually go up against them, but then we lose. And it was bad defensive placement. The defense was all over the place, and we lost to the Germans. Now it makes sense that we lost to them because now they're a solid side. Then we're against Oman and Uzbekistan. You want me to take you seriously against Oman and Uzbekistan? I don't. I don't take you seriously. And you still didn't look good in those games.
We barely won those games.
Yeah, and you still didn't look good in those games. You had it was kind of like an MLS team, right? It was MLS was, done. It was the MLS training camp because all the international players couldn't come to those games because it was within the, the European soccer season. So we didn't have Christian, Weston, Tim, all those. They weren't there. It was the MLS kids. And you still didn't look good against Oman and Uzbekistan. We hired him when we were down in the dumps. We didn't qualify for the World Cup in 2028. His job was to basically kind of kick all the old guard out. And he did. He kicked them all out. He didn't bring back Michael Bradley. Jermaine Jones was over. Clint Dempsey, that was done. Now we're picking up the kids. The kids are coming in now. And one thing I'll give him credit for is he did that. He said, you know what? Christian Pulisic was already there, right? The 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid that we all loved. He was a part of the 2018 debacle, but he was 17. So people really didn't blame him. But in Greg's defense, one of my ones, he said, you know what? It's kind of now it's time to change. Let's kind of move on with the revolution, right? He brought in Tyler Adams, Weston. He brought in Yunus Munsa. He had, Gio, the Aaronsons, Christian, and then we still were fighting for a 9. Then he convinced Ricardo Pepi to select America over Mexico. But I also want to bring credit is one of our former general manager, someone they fired because they got rid of his position, even though I think they should have found a way to help him there. Brian McBride, his job was to convince and pitch dual nationals on picking America. And 9 times out of 10, this late, during their window, they won more battles against Mexico than lost. But
Mexico is the only top 15 team in the rankings we beat under Greg Berhalter.
Exactly. And this is a horrible Mexico side. It's a bad Mexico side. This is their down spell. And every other team we faced in the top 15, we lost. And we didn't look good. And you know what? He had some good moments, but most of the time he had some bad moments. There was no creativity. We were predictable. Literally, the Dutch told us, oh, we know how they're going to play. We're going to sit back. They're going to lose the ball. They're going to beat them on the break because they can't stop us. And guess what? All 3 goals against the Dutch, guess what happened? All 3 of them were fast break goals. They're on the break. Memphis Depay, Daniel Blind, they all scored them off of long passes on the break. And they're like, of course, bro, because we know how you play. He got us through that. We should have moved on by then. They gave him a second shot. I was like, whatever. Let's see if stuff changes. There was no progression. There was regression.
Yeah.
It's time to fire him. He did some good things, but it's time. Time is time. Ecuador made it to a quarterfinal against Argentina, and they said, "You're still fired." to their manager. Paraguay, who are not very good anymore. They used to be good, but not very good now. Fired their manager. So you're telling me Paraguay now has higher standards than the U.S.? Really? Come on, fam. And you know what? And people don't want to talk about it. It doesn't look good when the other American manager that at the moment when you hired Greg, it was him and the other American manager, Jesse Marsh. They were the 2 top American managers on the market. You chose Greg over Jesse. It doesn't help that Jesse goes with Canada, who allegedly has less talent than you, allegedly, and takes them to a semifinal. People talk about but we shouldn't really do our business based on Canada. It's not about based on Canada. It's based on Jesse. You told Jesse, we really don't want you in this hiring cycle, and he felt disrespected because he probably was disrespected. He then goes to not your arch rival, because your arch rival is Mexico. He goes to someone who
geographical rival
who you think is lesser than you. You kind of don't take Canada seriously. he took Canada farther than you, and that makes you look bad. So he wasn't gonna stay. He wasn't gonna stay. And finally, the fans. It was united. It was a united front. People on Twitter, people in the media. It was a united front. Because every year when they talked about Greg, there's always his fanboys, his defenders. Lexi Lawless. Some people on CBS. They talk about everyone. Everyone was saying like, you got to get rid of him. Clint, Alexi, Carly, the fans, Charlie Davies, Brian McBride, Tony Meola. It was time. When everyone is saying it's time, and they made the right decision. But the problem is who's replacing him? Names have been thrown around. Got Cherundolo. The Golden Goose is Jurgen Klopp. Wilfred Nancy out of Columbus. Some of the list I saw Fox put out had Thierry Henry, Patrick Vieira on it. A name that no one's really talking about, Hoffenheim's Pellegrino Matarazzo, American, by the way. He's also an American manager on the market who is the head coach of Hoffenheim, who got them 8th in the Bundesliga, is probably the best American club manager in the moment, if you think about it. It's him and Cherundolo.
They said on the Fox pregame for Colombia, Uruguay, that they're looking for a serial winner with international managing experience, which to me rules out a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I don't know who they could get.
Yeah. And the thing is always like the money. The money. The reason they may not have money is that their fault, because they're in cahoots and in shady business with MLS, because they let MLS write their, designation standards for leagues in America, and the NASL is suing them for it. So if USSF
7 years,
yeah, and they're finally going to go to court on September 9th this year. They're finally going to court. They also had the settlement of $24 million with the women for equal pay. So all the problems they have are self-inflicted. If they were a proper federation, they wouldn't be run by their league. Their league is the federation. The league is the federation. That's what's sad about this. And that's why nothing really moves in America. You're telling me a country, Adelia, a country with probably over 500 million people and a soccer fan base of probably 70 million.
There are not 500 million people in this country.
300 million. I don't know how many people. A lot of people.
Close to 400 million.
400 million. And probably a quarter of them love soccer. So you telling me we can't field 26 players good enough to beat countries of 3 million people? You telling me we can't find that?
Isn't it the number one participation sport in America? Soccer?
Yes. It's the number one youth sport in America.
It's the number one youth sport in America. It's just hard to translate the youth game in this country into a professional path because there's no academies, really. There's kind of academies in the MLS now. There's kind of academies in MLS now, but you still got to get drafted, and the pay to play, it costs so much money to put your kid in youth soccer. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Crazy.
Rob, it should be the cheapest sport to play in America.
Yeah,
all you need is a goddamn ball. All you need is a parachute and a ball.
Zlatan Ibrahimovic, when he came over and played for the LA Galaxy, was complaining about the fact that he had to pay like $3,000 a year per kid for his kid to play youth soccer. And like, that's not good.
That's not okay.
The stars of the sport are complaining about how much it costs.
I found out in England, it's 50 quid. 50 quid a season.
Yeah.
Probably 100 for a season. And you paid and everything. You get the boots, you get the jersey, you get all the things, you get everything. You're in the academy. Sometimes going to an academy is a free tryout. They keep you, you pay if they keep you. But in America, you got to pay to try out. You got to pay these. It's crazy. There's a video of this kid in Nashville selling lemonade because he wants to go with his youth travel soccer team.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like $5,000, and some amazing person, they videotaped it, which kind of don't like, but it happens. Gave him $3,000. Gave him $3,000 to go, and they helped him get how. And people look like, oh my god, what a beautiful story. That's a horrible story. That is a horrible story. The kid has to raise $5,000 to go play soccer, travel soccer, it's a ball and some shoes. That's all you need. You telling me kids in Brazil who play on dirt and cement, but we can't. We can't. That's what I'm saying, dog. Like it should be easy. Ball, drop it on a piece of concrete. You make your own goal. You play some games.
Yeah. Okay. Let's stop focusing on the youth soccer aspect of this because we've kind of gone a little off track.
Sorry, I got U.S. soccer. It's so good. They fired him. Good.
It's good that they fired him.
They fired him. But now the problem is the biggest is who do you replace him with? They talked about a serial winner with international experience. Jurgen Klopp, serial winner, does not have international experience.
Yeah,
he won't go to America to coach their team.
He's not. Jurgen Klopp is a pipe dream. It's not
exactly. So the realistic ones are in loving down to not loving is Hervé Renard. Is it Hervé?
I think so.
Hervé.
I think
so. What's his name?
Hervé.
Hervé Renard, the former Saudi head coach, the former manager of the French women's team, and the former manager of the Ivory Coast men's team. He's free in August. Okay, got Wilfred Nancy in Columbus, Pellegrino Matarazzo at Hoffenheim, Steve Cherundolo, which people do not want, but that's the name that got popped up. He's the best.
He's the best American manager that there is right now. That's it's going to be Steve Cherundolo. They're not going to learn anything from this experience. No, they're just going to hire the next former American player that's turned into a pretty good, decent MLS coach, which is what Greg Berhalter was, and that we're not going to have any, growth here.
Exactly,
because they don't learn from their mistakes.
So Rafa Benitez was being interviewed yesterday about managerial jobs and international jobs, and they asked him about the U.S. job was brought up to Rafa Benitez, and he perked up and was like, he finds it interesting. So Rafa Benitez, serial winner. I don't know if he has international experience. We'll see. I don't think he does. But the thing is, how can you look at the women's team and say, you know what, we're gonna go hire the best manager for the women's team, and they're like, who's the best manager right now? Emma Hayes.
Yeah.
They hire her.
Yeah.
And then on the men's side, they're like, you know what, let's go cheap and get Steve Cherundolo. Emma is an American. She's British. She may have, people this we have to get an American coach nonsense. It's nonsense.
American coaches have gotten us nowhere.
Literally. Well. One got us very close to a semifinal, and then Germany cheated. But I digress to that. Fun fact about the Germany cheating: guess who kicked the ball that was almost the goal? Greg Berhalter.
Yeah,
he was gonna be gifted with the game-winning goal if Germany doesn't, or game-tying goal because lost.
Oh, is that the Torsten Frings handball you're talking
2002.
About?
It was Greg Berhalter.
I was a little confused for a minute, but I'm loopy on cold medicine, so just ignore me.
Lucky.
Yeah, you don't need an American. We don't need an American. Just get the best manager you can pay. And so I heard from Casey Keller and I've heard from Charlie Davies where they said they would have to pay both managers the same thing. And I've heard both times it was debunked because that's not true. You don't have to. That's nonsense. We don't have to do that. They probably want to do that for optic reasons, but but we're trying to win.
It would look really, really bad after the U.S. women sued them for not being paid equally for them to not pay the managers equally.
Exactly. So technically, not technically, they don't have to pay them the same, but they want to pay them the same.
I mean, legally, that's supposed to be the law in this land.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the law. It doesn't happen. You know what I mean? And personally, if you don't have Emma Hayes' resume, you shouldn't be paid more than Emma Hayes. You're talking about 5 straight WSL titles, 7 straight overall, multiple FA Cups, but unfortunately he couldn't win the Champions League, which is kind of sad. Still the only English team ever to win the Champions League. Sorry, my bad. Sorry. But yes, let's move on.
You've been talking for 20 minutes about this.
Yeah, why don't you stop me?
I've been trying to.
Sorry. Let's move on. Rob, what about you, man?
Talk to me about Canada. You guys
I want
made
Greg
the
Berhalter to stay.
semifinal.
How about that?
No, I'm sure you do. Right. Canada makes the semifinals. of Copa America.
I don't know how.
How do you
feel? Shocked. How about that? I was shocked that they made it there. They look good. They look good coming up from goal. Well, aside from the goalie with the one real brain fart moment or whatever to bring the thing to kicks in the quarterfinals, he looked actually pretty good. I was quite impressed with him. But midfield, they look okay. They can get the ball around. At times, they look very fast. At times, they look very attacking. This might be the worst finishing team I've ever seen. They can't score. They are terrible at it.
I watched that game against Venezuela in the quarterfinals, and it was like, are they ever going to put the ball in the back of the net?
They should have had 8 goals.
So many chances.
Yeah, everybody. Jonathan David. How big a blow is this for his career? The international stage and all these teams vying. Oh, Jonathan David looks like he's going to be available from Lille. And then he has a performance like that. Atrocious.
Yeah.
He's terrible.
I have a thought why.
Alphonso Davies, he looked all right. He was, again, he's not looking like a world beater. Kone was okay. I liked him, but he was coming off the bench. Shackelford's awful.
Whoa! Jacob Shackelford was awful.
He was
awful. No,
the
he
net
wasn't awful,
is the same size all the time. How could he put it so wide?
At finishing and actually scoring, he was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Attacking, just general attacking, he looked pretty good. But once he got in front of goal, he was pretty bad.
Well, all of them did. I think they're playing Jonathan David. Personally, I think they're playing Jonathan David out of position. They're making him play the second striker 10 role, which shouldn't happen. He should be the lone 9. No offense to Kyle Laren. He should be the lone 9. You should have added a third midfielder to help you protect the middle of the field. But you didn't. You want to play this 2-striker nonsense like it's 1993.
You have to play to the actual people that you have.
No, but you have a midfielder that's. You have midfielders.
Ooh, name one.
Ishmael Kone. You could have put Ishmael Kone in there. And Osorio. You could have had Osorio, Estacio.
Oh, no. Osorio is way too old. He's way too old now.
Well, it doesn't matter, man. Robert, he was better than Kyle Laren in the Venezuela game.
Everybody was just bad. They were just bad. That's what I'm saying. I'm amazed that they made it. They scored 1 goal in the group stage and they got through.
Yeah,
like it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm shocked. Like Jesse Marsh comes in or whatever. He gave them some form. I can say that they weren't running around with chickens with their heads cut off like they were in Qatar. They had form to them. They seem to be getting along very good. Tage Buchanan goes down. I think that was a big problem for them. It helped rally them around, maybe help propel them to a win against Venezuela. Maybe just that emotional lift. But you're going to go up against Argentina, a team that you played well against in the first round for the first half of that first round match. The second half, you didn't look that great, and then it's kind of the same in this one against Argentina, where you looked very good for the first 18 minutes or so, and then things started sliding. The 1 goal goes in, just a defender turns the wrong way, and then that's it. You have Julian Alvarez over the ball. What are you gonna do? And the second goal, was it offside? Could it have been considered offside? Probably. Wouldn't have mattered. Not in a million years. Wouldn't have mattered in a million years. Messi tapping in Enzo's shot. They just looked in the second half. They were just better than Argentina was just way better. There's not much you can do. We didn't give Martinez any work. I think he had to put his hands to 2 shots or something like that, and they weren't big. Jonathan David just missed. Yeah, Davies not really going forward all that well. He seemed slower in this match against Argentina too. So, they made it. It was a big deal here in Canada. A lot of people on Twitter and stuff like that complaining about dives and stuff like that. How they can, how does soccer let this get away? It's like, where have you guys been? for the last 40 years. This is what it is.
The refereeing in this tournament, though, has been pretty shocking.
Well, it's awful. It's awful. Yeah, I think it's it's all I mean, well, they really we're big fans of Argentina, it seems, but I think they've been awful for both teams. Like no one team has gotten too much of an advantage until there was 14 or 15 fouls called on Canada to 4 for Argentina in that last match. It was bananas. 4 or 5 yellow cards. Canada's frustrated. Kone kicking the ball into what's his name there?
DePaul.
DePaul's back. So funny. That's it was him. It was him where his he got barely clipped, maybe on his cleat, and he was rolling around for 15 minutes. That was the big deal. That set everybody off here in Canada. It's like then they're talking about retroactive yellow cards and stuff, like I've said before. But here's the deal: they're not going to do it. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do it in the game for sure, and they're not they should do it afterwards. They should give yellow cards, but in an international tournament, what does it matter? Especially when you go down to the Copa America, where I don't think you can get 2 yellow cards in 2 matches, and you don't get sent. You're
supposed to. You're supposed to. They were talking on the broadcast tonight about how Nicolas de la Cruz got a yellow card. It was his second yellow card, and by the rules, he should miss the final if Uruguay went through. But they never put that up on the host broadcast, which was what the pictures and the graphics and everything were from. So they weren't sure if that was confirmed or not. So they tried to get it confirmed, and I never heard throughout the entire match whether it was actually confirmed if he was going to miss the final should Uruguay have gone through.
Seems suspect. It seems suspect.
Lots of things about this tournament have seemed suspect. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Let's talk about tonight's game. Colombia 1, Uruguay 0. This just was a fight. Breaking news.
It's a street fight.
Speaking of a fight, after the match, the Uruguayan players went to the stands and fought Colombian fans after the match.
I saw them fighting on the pitch, but I didn't see.
They went into the stands.
You see, there's a video of a man with a bun, and everyone knows who it is. Raul Nunez. He's in it. Man. He is he took off his shirt. He has his athletic, whatever that thing is called. I don't know what's called. They call it
bro, the man's ear.
Yeah, usually, those are called sports bras, but it's whatever. His chest, his thingy. He's there, and he's fighting Colombian fans. A fight happened. A fight broke out. There was a fight at the end of the game between the teams. Literally, there's a fight. It's on Twitter. I'm seeing it right now. Darwin Nunez is angry. They're shoving punches with them. Beer was being thrown. Darwin is being held back by 4 people. It is when you said it was a fight, it was a fight. It was a fight throughout the entire time. And
all they have to do is clip his ankle and he'll be on the ground for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say
the game itself was chippy's not even the right word for it. It was just nasty.
Yeah. They didn't seem like they were gonna go out for a beer after the game.
Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. But the thing is, man, the game changed in the 40th minute of the first half when homeboy elbows dude in the chest.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
it's clearly a second yellow. It's his second yellow.
Yeah.
It wasn't a straight red.
Yeah, then he got kicked out the game, and then the game changed, and it got
change.
No, here's the thing about South American soccer.
Mm-hmm.
They're always stepping on and kicking on each other and kicking each other in the face. That's just common appearance. Like I remember, I think a Copa America final with Brazil and Argentina, and it's a highlight tape of the game, and it's just them elbowing each other in the head, kicking each other in the calf, kicking each other in the shin, the knee.
I think they said this was Munoz's second red card this month for Colombia, and I was like, that seems about right.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Colombia did what Uruguay did to Brazil. To Uruguay, they went down a man. They made it ugly and dirty and nasty, but they were up a goal, so that helped them. and they won in the end because that's the way it was. And Uruguay had chances.
If Nunez wants to get mad at anybody, get mad at himself. He had 3 great chances to score in the first half and blew it. Luis Suarez, the other 2 good chances, blew it, but it was like sandwiching the entire game. Like one was at near the beginning and stuff, except for the one chance for Nunez, which was closer to halftime. But Suarez, with 10 minutes left, has 2 good chances. But where's the rest? There was nothing. There was nothing. There was an hour where there was nothing.
I think they said at one point that Darwin Nunez had all of Uruguay's shots that night so far, and none of them were on target.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
There was nothing there. Boring. And that goal wasn't great either. That goal was not good. It was a good header, but the goalkeeper, what was he doing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Unbelievable. That was just bad. Bad goal. He made up for it. He had a nice save towards the end when Ecuador Colombia should have had maybe 2 or 3 more. He made one real good save in close or whatever. It goes off his leg, then off the bar and out. But then, he almost let in a half midfield goal or whatever at the end. Just a little high there, I think. But it didn't matter. It was the very last kick of the game anyways.
Yeah. I want to say hello to Brennan. Thanks for tuning in.
Hello, mister.
You're doing well tonight. So Colombia is unbeaten in their last 28 games, going up against Argentina, who's trying to make it 3 major tournaments in a row because they won the previous Copa America and the 2022 World Cup. So who wins?
The immovable object versus the irresistible force, right?
I mean, sort of.
I wonder who the ref's going to go for. Whoever the ref.
I don't know. I wonder who the ref's going to be because every ref I've seen in this tournament has been so awful. I would never give them another international assignment again.
I think they're doing their job.
One of these refs is going to get this final, and it's going to be a shit show because of it.
It's going to be terrible. You can't have the ref from tonight. You can't have the ref that Colombian game again. It was terrible. It's awful.
Man, you can't have the ref from the Uruguay Brazil game.
You can't have the ref from the Canada Argentina game ref because you could see like the bend was there, and I think that was the Chilean stuff, and you'd think Chileans would hate Argentina. They were all for him. I'm sure they read their kids' bedtime stories after the game and stuff too.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Like family. They were like family.
So you gotta get a neutral third party. Get the ref from get the ref from the Panama Mexico America game. That'll be great.
Oh my God, no. No.
He is bad. The reffing.
It wasn't even the judge. Some of the refereeing in this tournament though hasn't even been the judgment calls on what's a foul and what isn't. It's been like simple, basic refereeing protocols being missed.
I know who they should get.
Oh,
don't say Taylor.
The ref from the Uruguay US game. That guy. That's who they should have.
No.
Yo, where's the Polish guy at, man?
He's probably at the Euros.
Yeah, I heard they're going to suspend him and his crew.
Yeah, he's not.
I don't know.
Because they messed up the Bayern Munich Real Madrid game.
Yeah, he had a great World Cup. Not a great champion.
Not a great champion. Okay, so who wins? Argentina or Colombia?
It's Argentina, right?
We're going Colombia.
Whoa.
We're going Colombia.
It depends on if Messi has a good game or not for me. Because Messi's been off in this tournament so far.
Been very good.
He's hurt, definitely, Adelia.
Yeah, I think so.
Such a good striker now for us, though, too. He's so good. Martinez.
But do they start with Martinez this time? Who knows? So, I'm gonna go Argentina, but I could see Colombia winning it. Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about the Euros now.
Sure.
Spain, France won. Let's start there.
R.I.P. to those jerseys for France because they were sharp looking. That was a good
jerseys were nice.
Those are nice. So they were talking about it on Morning Footy this morning, and they were like, they're gonna move on from Didier Deschamps. It's been 12 years, I think 11 years, and they brought up a name that I'm like, if they do move on from him, this would make sense. But I don't think they're gonna move on from him. I don't think so, man. You talking about, semifinals in 16.
I think they announced today that he's there to the World Cup.
Yeah. So I think he's gonna get the World Cup 2026. And it makes sense. It makes sense because the victory the semifinal in 16, the Euros, the victory in 18 in the World Cup, and then you have,
I think it was the final in 16, but yeah, I think they lost to Portugal
in the final. Okay, so the final in 16, the victory in 20 in 18, and then the semis at the 2020 Euros, right?
And finals last World Cup.
Yeah, and then the final of the last World Cup. It's not like and they played beautiful football the previous iterations. Just this tournament, something was wrong.
They were terrible this tournament.
There was
I don't know
one
how
thing.
Offensively,
there was one thing wrong.
Yeah,
and Mbappe wasn't great.
In the attacking third, they were not. They were bad. They were bad in the attacking third. They were solid defensively, but in the attacking third, they were just horrible. But so he needs to fix it, right? And he needs to get away from his loyal soldiers. Rabiot and Conte. Well, you can keep Conte, but you got to get rid of Rabiot.
Don't get rid of Conte.
Yeah, you need to get rid of Rabiot. Eduardo Camavinga should have been them three in the midfield. How do you then tell Antoine Griezmann, who's been your loyal soldier, he's not good enough, but you're gonna tell me Rabiot should have been starting over him? That makes no sense. I'm sorry. If you want to play for two defensive midfielders, you got to put Griezmann as the 10, in my opinion. But you didn't do that. Who was your connective force? The more I think about it, the more it's like, you guys really miss Paul Pogba. You clearly see it. You clearly see how much they miss him because of the long passes, the direction, the connection between the midfield and the front three. And you know what? It kind of sucks that you have two wingers. One broke his nose, and the other one's Ousmane Dembele, who isn't very good. And I'm sick and tired of people telling me he's good. He's not. He's horrible. He's whack. He's not good at all. And I'm sick and tired of watching him play soccer. I generally am.
He's good at everything but finishing.
He could play for Canada.
He could.
Good at everything. What do you mean good at everything? What are you talking about? He's bad.
Okay.
He's bad.
If he was that bad, he wouldn't be on the national team and start, at Barcelona. So.
No, Adelia, he would, because who else have they got on the right wing that they could start? In the French,
they'd find someone.
Yeah,
they'd find someone,
and they haven't found them yet. They should have started Bradley Barcola.
Bradley Barcola, I don't think plays on the right.
Okay, fine. You know what? They should have brought in Michel Olise or Michael Olise.
Olise should have been there.
You should have been there, but they gave Thierry Olise for the Olympics. So we'll see. Dembele shouldn't be starting anymore, ever again.
Don't
never.
Disagree, Ferris. I'm just saying I don't think he's as bad as you say he is.
He's pretty bad.
Speaking of never starting again, Tata Olivier Giroud.
They should have started him.
I don't know.
Because
I think once Mbappe broke his nose, he should have played Giroud.
Mm-hmm, because the 9, who is it going to be?
Yeah,
they put Marcus Thuram is not a 9. It's not. That's not what they played him at Inter. 9 at Inter is Lautaro Martinez. That's
Giroud's over at is it LAFC or is it Galaxy?
Now.
Now.
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, he's enough of our friends.
He's good for that speed. He's good at that speed.
Enough of our friends. They suck. Let's move on. Let's look at the best team in the tournament.
Spain have been the best team in the tournament.
Yeah.
Your thoughts, Robert?
How about that goal from Lamine Yamal?
I think he might be okay. He might be good.
I think he'll be fine.
I think his 17th birthday on Saturday is going to be pretty good.
I think so.
With a final to play the next day, and
he's going to be going to bed nice and early. Maybe get a bedtime story. Or someone would be nice.
Do you think they'll excuse his late homework because he's been working?
I would. Come on, absolutely. Be like, Lamine, why didn't you turn in your math exam? I was playing Switzerland. or I was playing whatever. I was playing Germany. We beat them 2-1.
He certainly isn't letting the moment get to him. Like this kid has started for Barcelona at 16 years old. He scored. So
he has incredible composure.
16.
Yeah, man. He was
Speed.
baptized.
I don't
he was
like
baptized by Messi, guys. Literally. Literally. Was baptized by him. No, there is. Look at the photos. It's him. You seen the photos?
That was for a charity calendar in Barcelona. That's not him baptizing the child.
He stuck his head. There was a priest. There was a bowl of water, and he was pouring water on his head. That's a baptism. Okay?
I don't think that's right.
That's a baptism. Lamine Yamal was baptized by Messi. And Dani Olmo hung out with Messi. You know what that means? Makes sense because they scored both goals in this game. You know? So
yeah.
Dani Olmo, the leading scorer of the tournament, if you don't count own goals.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's insane. Yeah, man. Spain, shout out to Luis de la Fuente. Listen to Guillem Balgay talk about this team. It makes sense why he has the job. And it makes sense why he's not gonna sign the extension yet with the team, because he's about to get, if he wins the tournament, he's about to get praised. He was their under 17 head coach that won the World Cup for them. And then they won the under 19 World Cup with him. Then he won the under 23 silver medal at the Olympics with their under 23s. So he's been with these players for 10 to 15 years, a long time. And he's not your stereotypical Spanish manager where it's like, we play this way. The Don Vicente Bosco way. De Bosque way, where we possession you to death. We win 1-0, but we win 1-0 beautifully. He's like, you know what? Yeah, I like that, but let me add a winger that can be dynamic, because there's a story Guillem Balgay tells about when they were in Tbilisi in Georgia against Georgia in the World Cup qualifier. The Federation forgets their boots, Adelia. They have no boots, so they got to go out and buy boots for the team, and it clicks. It was a bonding moment. It's, something horrible happened and they have to go and fix it. And in that game, 2 people get injured. Their wingers get injured, and he had to bring on Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal. He had, because his wingers ended up getting injured. Long story short, they beat Georgia 7-1, and Nico and Lamine score a goal. And in that moment, it clicks, and he's like, oh yeah, they're coming to the Euros with me. Them too. And he's created a power unit, like a leadership group of people he's known for 10 years with Dani Olmo, Rodri, Alvaro Morata, who they've known. He's known Dani Olmo since Dani Olmo was like 15 or like 12. So now they're the guys. When they would join the team, Fabian Ruiz, they would be in and out, right? But now they're the guys. They're the Xavi. They're the Xabi. They're the Iniesta. They're the Fernando Torres, El Nino. They're the David Villas of the team. They're the guys. They're not some guy we may bring in. They're the guys we're definitely bringing. And then you have the 2 dynamic wingers with Nico and Yamal, and they don't play. We should possess the ball left and right. They're 7th in possession in this tournament. And the key to them winning games is those 2 wingers when they're just taking you off the dribble or running in behind Alvaro Morata. And it all ends. Alvaro Morata shot down.
All right.
Thoughts?
So
I think Spain has never looked better since they put Marc Cucurella in.
Okay. All right.
I don't know where this came from, but on the Fox broadcast before the semifinal, Peter Schmeichel said that if Spain beats France, Marc Cucurella is going to shave his head.
What? No.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't see that happening.
No. No. No, I do not. Iconic.
Yeah.
All right. So now the question is, will Spain win their 4th Euros, or is it going to be England bringing the trophy home? Because football's coming home, as they like to say over in England.
Is it coming home?
England 2, Netherlands 1 today. Saved from extra time in stoppage time by Ollie Watkins.
Thank God.
I didn't say it. There's a heck of a pass that led to that too, but a great turn by Watkins.
There was great turn by Watkins.
Ooh, he passed it straight. Finally.
He's pretty good at passing the ball. I'm gonna say that. He's pretty good.
Whatever. Yeah, it was a good pass.
And all he does is when he shows up, they win. That's all. That's all Cole Palmer does is just makes them win.
Yeah, you know, all they do is win when Bukayo Saka scores a goal. You know, happens all the time.
Okay.
Okay. But this like either way, they cruised by the second half. Netherlands were bored. Like they couldn't do anything.
Netherlands
like
were
that was
awful
that
in
was
the second half.
Southgate's. That's Southgate's brand of football in the second half. It's just bore you to death. So they got a little listless and couldn't do much of anything. England just keeps sitting back, and then finally something broke for them, and they were able to go for it. Now, would it have been any different if there was no penalty awarded in the first half?
I mean, it probably would have been different.
It was a penalty, by the way.
Of course, it was a penalty. This is outrageous that people are saying there's no way in a million years. If that happens outside that box, that's an automatic red card. He misses the ball and he goes spikes up. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why that wasn't a red card, anyways.
Yeah.
Just because it's in the box.
I don't know. It's a refereeing at the Euros wasn't much better, was it? But England got a lot of calls their way though too. I was going to say that. Like it wasn't just that one. There was a lot of things, a lot of 50-50 things that went England's way. A lot they got helped out, it seems, which was weird because usually they're the ones that get the heavy amount of shit dumped on them. But they got their breaks this time. They look good. Those last 15 minutes, they look really good. They just have to get to that last 15 minutes part. And I don't know if Spain lets them do that.
I don't know that Spain lets them do that either. I mean, I think Spain's going to beat them. Spain's been the best team in this tournament by a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And England have not been good at all. No. Farish, your thoughts?
Spain's about to win the Euros. Both of these teams suck. Because like the goal with Xavi Simons, unfortunately, Declan Rice got dispossessed easily by a forward. He didn't corral the ball correctly. Xavi steals it from him, and he dribbles up, and he's outside the box. It was a one flick. He flicks it, and it was too powerful for Jordan Pickford to stop it because it hits Pickford's hand. It hits his hand.
Yep.
And it was too powerful he just said, you don't matter. And it bounces in the goal. I think it hits the top, then it rolls in. A great goal. Denzel Dumfries doesn't commit that foul. I think the Dutch win because England gave me nothing. They gave me nothing. There was the one strike with Phil from outside the box where he hits the post. And that was it. That was it.
I think that was his best game of the tournament too. Like,
that's what happens when you're best.
He had a couple good moments, but like all throughout the tournament, he's been an afterthought. Like the guy who wins Premier League Player of the Year, and he's an afterthought this entire starts every game. Like that's one Southgate just keeps putting out the same guys all the time. Is the definition of insanity, but it's working. Like they're in the final.
He definitely doesn't like to make substitutions, but I will say he has in the last two games substituted out Harry Kane, and it's worked.
Yeah, the last game a little more. Harry Kane was a little hurt, but this time good thinking.
Because here's the thing about Harry Kane: when his wingers are running, and they want their 9 to be in the box while they're running, he's in the midfield thinking he's a damn 10.
Yeah, he does that a lot.
He drops in too deep. That's one of his great skills is dropping in deep. And it works at club when you have, Leroy Sané and Serge Gnabry, or with Spurs, he had Son and whoever the other person was, and they would run behind him. It makes sense. But with England, your wingers get the ball. And Phil and Saka, they get the ball, and they're like, dude, what are you doing? Get in the box. But guess what happens when you bring in a proper 9 in Ollie Watkins? Ollie Watkins' first instinct is be the 9, be the head of the spear. Boom, guess what happens? Cole Palmer finds him. Corrals it, turns, strikes. What happens? Goal.
Mm-hmm.
He's not talking to Declan Rice. Ollie Watkins and Declan Rice should never speak. But Harry Kane apparently loves to talk to Declan Rice because he's always next to him.
There was a moment in the previous round where Harry Kane was all the way back on his like goal line defending. And I was like, why are you there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
not where you're supposed to be.
Because with Gareth Southgate, when they get a goal, he in the early rounds he dropped everybody.
Yeah,
everyone. And the same thing with this game is like they're playing that weird 3-4. Was it 4-2 or what is it 3-4? I don't know. What was it 3-5 something? I don't know. I don't know what the hell they were playing. And they have the wing backs, and they have Bukayo Saka playing wing back left wing. You know what I mean? The wing back thing, and they tell him to drop too deep, and you're like, bro, but what is going on here? If I have an actual 9 in the box who like actually plucks the ball out of the sky with his head, I would be good, because that's at Arsenal. That's literally what we did with Trossard running down the line and Havertz running up the line. It makes sense. But when your 9 is talking to your center defensive midfielder, it doesn't work. But when they told him to get out of the game and put an Ollie, because they were like, you know what? Let's see if Ollie's going to change the game. Ollie's like, I'm not going to I'm going to stick at the 9. Palmer corrals it. Great pass. Corral and kick. You're a 9, bro. Be a 9.
Yeah.
Stop doing all that. The formula is the formula. Why do you think Wout Weghorst works sometimes? He knows his role. He ain't rolling inside the midfield to like, hey, random Dutch guy that we had to start because Frankie's injured. Let me have a conversation. Like, no. Target man. Right here. Kick it to me. I'm going to get you a goal.
He did that a lot in that tournament.
Poor food fag horse.
If England wants to win this game, they bench Harry Kane. You start
They're
Ollie
not going to
Watkins.
bench Harry Kane.
They're not but they should. They're not, but they should. Ollie Watkins should start in the final. Yes,
he keeps. He has that. They have that idea that somehow, even though it hasn't done a shit all tournament, that this thing could be decided on spot kicks and stuff like that. So
they're doing the same thing the Americans do. They've guaranteed some of these players spots. They don't earn them. They're guaranteed.
That's why Southgate's still the manager, is because there's players that absolutely love him because they keep putting him on the squad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like Phil Foden's played garbage the entire tournament. But why is it that we have to take out Bukayo Saka out? Why don't we take out the guy who isn't been playing well? You know what I mean? Why is it not guaranteed? Why is Phil and Carey's positions guaranteed? This is the English national team, right? That was supposed to be one of the most talented groups in the world. You don't have solid backups for them? That says a lot about your backups, that if they can't come in and deliver a good performance, because nobody should be guaranteed a spot on a national team. Nothing is guaranteed. That was Portugal's problem. They shouldn't have been starting Cristiano Ronaldo. He shouldn't have been playing. Bench Harry Kane.
They're not going to. But I do think that it's a positive sign for England that Southgate's at least willing to substitute him out if things need to change.
Yeah, but you're wasting 70 minutes on some BS, Adelia. Get him out.
Ferris, I agree.
Okay, sorry.
I agree.
Sorry.
But it's not going to happen. He's not going to bench his captain and the talisman of the team who scored more goals for England than anyone ever has in a Euro final to put in Ollie Watkins.
Hey, man, don't say Ollie Watkins.
His fourth. Well, no, but I think he scored his 4th goal for England today.
Yeah, because they don't play him. Because they're too busy giving Harry Kane the world.
And they're not going to give Ollie Watkins the world in a Euro final.
Arsenal should buy him.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
It's one of the guys Aston Villa wants to keep.
Yeah. Well,
so are we all in
trying to remember
agreement
which academy he was in. It slips my mind.
It wasn't a part of yours, fool.
All right.
I think he was actually, Ferris.
No, he wasn't. He was part of Excelsior City's academy.
What is Excelsior City? Okay, we're just
Exeter
gonna
City?
move on.
That's the name. EXETER City.
Exeter.
Exeter City. See, yeah, he's Exeter City. He's in part. See, boom, there it is. He was a boyhood Arsenal supporter.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on from where Ollie Watkins was an academy kid. So are we all in agreement Spain's gonna win?
Yes.
Oh yeah, Spain's gonna win.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts on the Euros that you want to share?
Yeah. Shout out to the small nations, and we should never, ever, ever do third place teams ever again because they don't deserve. They shouldn't. But yeah,
if they get rid of the third place teams thing, then they're gonna have less teams in the Euros, and they won't do that now that they've added them in.
Just add another group. If you want to be the baby World Cup, just have the same amount of groups as the World Cup. Then you're allegedly the best.
First, the next thing we know, the European Championships are going to have every European nation in them if we keep adding teams.
They can't have them keep going on.
Let's do it. How do you know?
They can't.
Training camp's already starting up too. Like these guys have no breaks. They can't keep.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Longer. Get rid of you've extended this tournament by adding the third place teams. Kick them out.
They're not going to kick them out now that they've extended it to this format, and they're not going to hopefully keep expanding it even further because that would be a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
No, what you do is you add another group and just do the two of the top those groups. Then you add.
But that's adding more teams, Ferris. They're not going to do that because then you have to add more days to the length of the tournament.
You know what? You're right. They're stupid.
They're not stupid.
No, I generally think third place teams are stupid. It's a dumb idea.
Well,
so why
Ferris,
is it not...
I cannot wait until the World Cup in 2 years when you lose your mind.
There's no third place teams in the World Cup.
Exactly. That's how America never makes it past the group stage.
Hey, well, we've made it past the group stage.
But I mean, Ferris, when we have all of these groups in the group stage lasts for much longer than it should in the World Cup in 2 years, you're going to be losing your mind.
No, exactly. I don't believe in World Cup expansion. I think it was perfect. They added 48 teams. It was 32, right?
It is
32.
But no, but they're adding 48. In
2026, it'll be 48.
Yeah, that's dumb. That's dumb. I think that's generally stupid. But I still think no, but that's stupid. No, but stupid. That is stupid. 32 though is still only the first two teams.
Yep.
There's no third place team in the World Cup. Third place teams sound stupid as well. Why is it when we add a stupid rule, and sometimes it's like we get rid of it? People thought golden goal was stupid. They took it away.
There's lots of stuff that they do that is stupid, but they're not going to unexpand these tournaments now that they've expanded them.
All right, then why did we get rid of golden goal then?
Because it's stupid.
My point. That's my point. We got rid of it because it was stupid.
Right, the third place team. Ferris, I'm telling you, they're not going to come in now and say, all these extra opportunities we're giving for you, smaller nations to qualify. We're just going to take them away. They're not going to do that now, because that's how the smaller nations qualified. That's how the smaller nations qualify, though, Ferris. The World Cup is now guaranteeing a spot to the Oceania Confederation and stuff now with the expansion. They're not going to take that away. I hate to tell you.
You know what? I can't wait to see Tonga in the World Cup.
It's probably going to be New Zealand.
Ah, damn it. All right, cool. Whatever.
All right, so Spain's going to win.
Spain wins. Argentina wins.
Argentina wins. Ferris says Colombia wins.
Yeah.
Colombia wins.
And we will be back, me and Ferris at least, on Sunday after the Copa America final to recap the two finals happening. They're calling it the end of the summer of soccer on Fox. And I was just like, is that because you don't have the rights to all the preseason games that are going to be happening in this country? It's not the end of the summer of soccer. But this is the end of today's show. Yeah, this is the end of today's show. Thank you for dealing with me and my messed up voice from my cold. Thank you guys for joining me. Snark, where can people find you?
You can find me on vacation in a matter of hours. Of course, I have to go to work first thing in the morning for a few hours, but then I get to go. It's my parents' wedding anniversary, and I haven't had more than 2 days off since we were all together in Arizona those many months ago. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. No, I'm going to Toronto, Ontario, the center of the universe, guys. So they think. Yeah, so I'll be out there for a few days, but we'll be back. I'm looking forward to Rewatchers Council again. Didn't happen this week. It will be back next week. Looking forward to the episode we get to talk about Bewitched, Bothered, Bewildered. It's a very fun one. Let's see what else. LGRN after Snark. We were gonna have an episode today, but Danny wasn't feeling too good. So unfortunately, that gets put off for a week. I believe someone's going to fill in for some Star Wars, The Acolyte reviews with him this week, and then the boys as well. I don't know if I think Ferris, you might be talking with them, but I can't remember if that's right or not. Other than that, that's it. That's it for now.
All right, Ferris, where can people find you?
Guys, every Friday, Let's Get Ready Network, the highlights, this channel. This Friday, 3 o'clock. It's Good Friends, Better Rivals. Me and Caleb. We're gonna talk some Hard Knocks, as well as it's a 100th episode celebration. So be sure to show up. With me and Caleb, we're gonna talk about our favorite teams and our journey making the show. And then at 8 o'clock Pacific, me and Adelia on our entertainment channel talking about the open table, bringing up what is wrong with your face. I don't know.
I know my eyes got really small when I took my glasses.
Summer memories. We're going to be talking about that, barbecues and ball games, the occasional movie. We're going to talk about that. And at Ferris on Twitter. And last thing, 25 years ago today, 1999, a game happened at the Rose Bowl between China and America. And a woman named Brandy Chastain scored a game-winning penalty to bring the World Cup back to America. Boom. There it is.
I watched that game live on television.
All right, stop showing off. All right, not cool.
It's not showing off, Ferris. It's just showing our age difference.
Yeah.
You can find the highlights channel and the entertainment channel links in the description of this episode. You can find me this weekend, Saturday, 2 p.m. Pacific, doing the Acolyte review with Danny over on the entertainment channel. And we'll be back here on Sunday night to recap the finals of the Euros and Copa America on this channel. Please subscribe to both the channels. We'd really appreciate it. If you're watching on Twitch, follow us on Twitch. And until next time, and hopefully my voice will cooperate, we are out of here. Bye.